I'm Vijaya on Mirchi. So glad you could join us on the Immigration Hour with the NPZ Law Group, also known as Visa Serve, immigration lawyers representing employers' families worldwide, specializing in US and Canadian immigration. Let's now talk to Samantha Oberstein. She's managing attorney at NPZ's Fort Lauderdale office. Welcome, Samantha.
Hi, Vijaya. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you for being here, Samantha. So I heard there are new changes to the good moral character requirement for citizenship. Now, what does this mean and how can I best prepare my case?
It's a really good question, and this is a really new change. So August 15th, USCIS issued a new policy memo discussing good moral character and how it applies to citizenship cases. So previously, there are, of course, certain bars to citizenship, but the statute also has a catch-all provision which left room for officers to use their discretion while they were adjudicating cases, even if it wasn't, quote, an outright bar. But now USCIS is clarifying that a little bit more, and they're expanding their authority to really adjudicate these cases on a holistic basis. So just to give some background, good moral character, USCIS is defining that as character commensurate with the standards of the average citizen residing in the community where the individual resides. So now USCIS is going to be using a totality of the circumstances analysis. So they're going to account for positive attributes, not just the absence of misconduct. So they're not going to just look at the negative. They're going to take a holistic approach to determine, in their words, if the individual is worthy of being a U.S. citizen. And some of the positive factors that they're going to review are community involvement, family caregiving responsibilities, ties in the United States, educational attainment, stable lawful employment history and achievements, length of lawful residence in the U.S., and compliance with tax obligations and financial responsibility. So they'll use a totality of the circumstances approach to kind of go through some of those factors. And there's also going to be greater scrutiny on disqualifying behavior. So some disqualifying things are obviously the permanent bars to good moral character, such as murder, aggravated felony, things of that nature. The conditional bars, which are controlled substance violations, 2 or more DUIs, false claims to U.S. citizenship, and then any other acts that are contrary to the average behavior of citizens in your jurisdiction. So what that means is while something may technically be lawful, it could still be inconsistent with civic responsibility and be harmful to your to your citizenship case. So things that they mention in the policy manual are reckless or habitual traffic violations. So, an individual with 10 or 15 tickets, it could be a concern, and maybe in the past it wasn't. Harassment, aggressive solicitation, these are all things that now they're going to really be taking into account. They'll also look at rehabilitation and reformation. So basically focusing on the fact that maybe you've changed and you've done things to make your situation better. And they give some examples of that, but just to highlight a few, complying with probation conditions, community testimony, so from individuals in the community about your good moral character, full repayment of overdue taxes. So that's something I think that's new, because in the past, payment plans for taxes were okay, but now it looks like that's not going to be permitted going forward. And just full repayment of any other overpayment of any benefits. So they're really going to review your history completely. Again, totality of the circumstances. And, what they say is that the individual needs to present a full story and demonstrate how their life aligns with the behavior that's consistent with a citizen of their community. So it's important to be prepared, not just to prove that you don't have anything negative, but to also prove some of these positives in your case. Again, it's still very new, like I said, August 15th, so it's hard to say how the officers will be adjudicating this. And of course, as we have more information about some specific documents that the officers are requesting, we'll share that with our listeners. But for now, just be mindful that these are some of the factors that they'll be considering.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. That's a wide reach right there, and a magnifying glass, if there ever was one, and holistic it is. So thank you so much for bringing that to us, Samantha. And of course, folks, you be prepared, like Samantha said, and proactive to call the NPZ Law Group for advice and guidance through the US and Canadian immigration law maze. Language is not an issue. They speak Tamil, Hindi, Punjabi, Gujarati, Nepalese, and so many more. So get the help you need and a discount on your consult when you mention Mirchi. Visit visaserve.com or call 201-670-0006. So don't wait, call them today. We'll be right back with more on the law for the layperson. Stay with us, please, on Mirchi. It's hot.